Hello YouTube and welcome to my video. This is on a server called Janis RSPS and I am currently a support on this server. Now this server is really unique and has a lot of things to offer, and basically what I'm going to be doing in this video is going through a lot of those things, showing you where you should get started and what you should do as you progress through the game. Now this is home when you first log on, and right here you have all your shops. You have our teleport portal thing here where you can go to every single boss in the game, zone, whatever you want to call them. And so when you first start out, you're going to want to always collect your Tokel and Ecto tokens. Now the reason for that is because these two right here are the main forms of currency in this game. And here are the two shops. The PVM shop is the Ecto Point shop, and the Tokel shop, obviously, for Tokel. Now, when you first start, you want to go to Man, and here you get a lot of your common drops, a lot of your basic drops, where you can start to build and get better items. What you want, as far as to use for actual gear that you use, kind of long term, would be Vanguard. Um, And this also drops the Abyssal Whip Light, if you can get that. Steadfast Boots, you need those. And Ring of Stone and Ring of Wealth, if you're lucky enough to get Ring of Stone. Those both increase drop rate, and you're going to need that. Now, despite how low these numbers, the drop rate, 1%, whatever, they drop more than that, I feel like. That's just my personal opinion. But anyways, moving on. Now, all these other drops, like Pernix, Virtus, Bandos, Dragon, and except for this, I don't know why this is honestly in the server, but everything else basically can be used for invention, and invention is one of the best ways to get some end gear game, and I will show you exactly what that looks like right now. So basically, what you do is you get, a Bandos or Dragon Claws or anything like that. Let me just find some real quick. I don't really know where all my Bandos went here, so let me look it up. Okay, so you take your Bandos and you just use it on this bench. You get Invention XP and Invention tokens. Now what you do with these Invention tokens is you can buy this gear right here. It's called the Nature Set. And each piece of this gear gives a 0.5 drop rate increase bonus, and that's currently what I'm using right now, and it helps a lot. So also, to go along with that, you want to get the Lucky Necklace, which you can get from the Tokel shop, and I'll show you that right now. And basically what this does is increases your drop rate by 1.5%. It also offers additional stats, but not really anything crazy. But I believe it costs 750. Oh, 700k. There you go. 700k tokens, which really isn't a lot if you're, grinding hard for the Tokel and Ecto. But so yeah, you want to camp at Man for a while. I was here a lot longer than I needed to be, and this teleport needs to be fixed. I was here for a lot longer than I needed to be, just so that I could really stack up on some Tokel and Ecto before I moved on to any other places. But this is essentially where you want to start. Now, moving on from here, once you get 300k Tokel or 300k Ectos, you want to come back home and either buy the Ancient Scythe or the Sagittarian Bow. This will take a lot longer to get, but in the long run for farming and for bossing, it'll do a lot better. But moving on from Man, you want to move to Doomed, and here you can get a Doomed Whip and a Doomed Spirit Shield. And Doomed Spirit Shield offers a lot of defense bonus, which is good for when you don't have any custom gear and you're facing, some higher tier bosses, And Doomed Whip is actually not that bad of a weapon either. But moving on from there, you're probably gonna want to go and either go to Dragonbone and get some Dragonbone armor or some skeletal armor, or you could, what, really, I think Dragonbone is the next place, and that's probably the best place to go because, like I said, here, I'll just show you the drops real quick. Um, they drop Dragon Bone, and Dragon Bone's pretty good, and so Skeleton. Well, it will be when it gets fixed, but it also drops Ruin, Lime, and Dragon Shield, and these are really good strength shields and offer a lot of extra damage. Now, once you got that, and I'm assuming you'll have your Ancient Scythe first before you have the Sagittarian Bow, you're going to want to move on to getting a better sword. Now, where could you get that? The answer is quite easy. It's Sunfreet, if I'm saying that correctly. And this dude right here drops a sword called Cloud Sword, and this sword is pretty good. It's got a zero point 0.8 drop rate, but by then you'll have enough drop rate bonus to give you a little bit of an extra edge, and hopefully you won't take too long to get it. Also, Malevolent Kite Shield's pretty good, and so are Demon Horn Boots. But your main drop from here is going to be looking for that Cloud Sword. For gloves and for boots, I suggest Cerberus. Cerberus drops, obviously Pegasian, I mean, Primordial and all those extra, boots and whatnot that it drops in RuneScape. But it also drops Flame Gloves, and those are the gloves that I have on right now. And if I'm not mistaken, they are the best gloves you can get at the moment. So I'd go for that. Now, it's going to take you a long time to get to the point where you can even think about getting a nature set. But basically, what you're going to want to do until then is get yourself some temporary gear. And for that, I suggest Torvaland. And at Torvaland, there are 4 different tiers of Torva. There is Tier 5 all the way to Tier 1. And Tier 5 has a little extra drop. So obviously it has, the Tier 4 armor, but it also has legendary boxes. And legendary boxes are currently you get them from donating. And these drop, or they give you P-Hats, T5 Torva, uh, Third Age, Tectonic, stuff like that. So this place is really good. Um, but before you come here, I suggest you either upgrade from the Ancient Scythe and get the Cloud Sword, or keep farming Tokal until you have 3 million Tokal to get the Noxious Scythe. Or if you're lucky enough and you get a Virago key from this really ridiculous uh, boss here who is hard to kill and turns off your prayer and stuff, you gotta just, spam your food and hope that you kill him. You're gonna need some good gear for this guy. I'm just gonna leave real quick. But you have to get a Virago key from that guy before you can go into Virago. But once you get that key, Virago drops Omen's Maul, Noxious Scythe, and Noxious Bow. Now I have all of those except for the Scythe, but here's the Noxious Bow, and here is the Omen's Maul. And now these weapons are very good. Omen Maul in particular is very good. It has a lot of strength bonus, it hits really hard, and it attacks pretty fast. Now, in addition to that, there's the Noxious Bow, and the Noxious Bow is not the best ranged weapon at the moment, but it is definitely very good. And I really suggest getting that if you're looking into getting a ranged weapon, because it's currently one of the easiest ones to get besides the Sagittarian Bow. Now, moving on from here, you're going to want, obviously, a shield or an offhand, whatever you prefer. Now, I suggest, and what's the best offhand, you might ask, and that is the Shadow, Drago, or Kite Shield. And I'm going to show you what drops that. And Shadow Corp drops it. And basically, you can get the Shadow Malevolent gear, the Shadow Malevolent longsword, and then the Shadow Drago shield, and that's what you're looking for. The Shadow Drago longsword is really not that much, or it's not really that great. And neither is the Shadow Malevolent gear in comparison to like T5 Torva. Obviously, if you can get it from Shadow Corp, then you might as well use it because it'll probably be better than what you have currently. Um, so, moving on from that, you get to your end game armor, bosses, and stuff like that. Now, there's 2 different places for that. There is Snowflake, and one that's not on here, which is Serenic. And Serenic is for range gear, and you can get the best range gear in the game. Also, you can get some other weapons. We'll go ahead and just take a look real quick. So you can get the Ascension Crossbow, Armadillo Wings, Ceramic Body, Hat, Chaps, Royal D'hide, which is supposed to be alright for range. Royal Rapier, which I have yet to test, but I really want it, and I'm going for that. Bludgeon, which I have yet to test. Purple Wings, which are for range, and then Frost Whip, which I have yet to test. But Royal Rapier, obviously, with a 0.2% drop rate, is going to be a very good weapon, along with, all the other gear in here. This is the top tier gear at the moment, the highest tier range gear we have in the game at the moment. Now, it's kind of confusing because there's a lot of new stuff added every day, but there's some of the highest tier um, strength bonus, armor would be Blood Torva, and the only way you can get this is through PK points. And honestly, there's really not a whole lot of PKing going on yet. I'm really pushing for it because I love PKing, uh, but not a lot of people are down with it, so hopefully we can get that changed soon. But that's pretty much it for a beginner's guide. I'll definitely be doing more videos explaining more, the loot from 100, whatever. I'm definitely going to expand upon this in the future. But for now, I just kind of wanted to get into, the basics and kind of see or help people who are new to the server understand how to get started. And yeah, so thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the server soon, and peace.